Imagine standing at the base of a massive stone tower, one taller than a modern 20-story building. It's high noon, and the sun is beating down on a courtyard of solid granite. Under these conditions, every object on the horizon should be throwing a long, dark silhouette across the floor. But for centuries, visitors have claimed this specific monument defies that rule entirely. This is the Brihadeeswarar Temple in Tamil Nadu, India. It is a massive, landscape-dominating achievement of the ancient world, yet it is famous for a single impossible claim, that it casts no shadow. Science tells us this shouldn't be possible. Solid matter blocks light. From the smallest pebble to the largest mountain, everything in the physical universe creates a shadow when the sun is out. So we have to ask how a 1,000-year-old stone monolith weighing tens of thousands of tons could somehow erase its own shadow in the middle of a clear day. This contradiction leaves us with a vacuum of logic. We are forced to decide if our understanding of physics is broken, or if the builders found a way to make our eyes lie to us. Constructed during the Chola Empire entirely without modern machinery, the temple tower is a mountain of granite that still dwarfs the surrounding city. Because of its height and isolation, we expect a massive, dramatic shadow to stretch across the stone courtyard as the sun moves. Thousands of people travel here specifically to see if that expectation fails. They walk the perimeter, waiting for the laws of optics to vanish. At certain times of the day, those visitors see exactly what they were promised. The long, stretching shadow they anticipated is nowhere to be found. These observations on the ground are the fuel for the legend. When the visual evidence doesn't match our logic, the human mind is very quick to embrace a supernatural explanation. In reality, physics remains undefeated. The Brihadeeswarar Temple absolutely casts a shadow. It just isn't where we are trained to look for it. The explanation lies in the geometry of the Vimana. It is built as receding, pyramidal tiers, stacked with mathematical precision. Notice how each ledge slightly overhangs the tier beneath it. At midday, the light's angle changes how it interacts with these stone steps. At midday, the shadow doesn't stretch across the ground. It falls onto the structure itself, draping over the tiers and stopping precisely at the base's edge. From the ground, the shadow is perfectly tucked within the building's footprint, visually hidden behind the wide base. The shadow hasn't disappeared. It is simply hiding in plain sight, a result of brilliant architectural alignment. If the answer is just a matter of simple geometry, why has the myth of the shadowless temple survived for over 1,000 years? Because a story about the impossible is always more memorable than a lecture on engineering. We share legends much faster than we share architectural facts, but the truth reveals something far more impressive than a ghost story. These ancient builders didn't break the laws of physics, they mastered them. 11th century engineers possessed a level of spatial design and perspective that allowed them to inadvertently create a timeless illusion. They calculated the sun's path and built a monument that could swallow its own shadow. The vanishing shadow is a clever trick of the eye, but the real achievement is the math. A millennium ago, these builders used pure geometry to turn 80,000 tons of granite into a perfectly calculated masterpiece.